Good evening, everyone. My name is Heather Murphy, and I have the pleasure of hosting tonight's public meeting. We appreciate your indulgence while we tried to sort out an interpreter issue. We operate a Spanish language line that people can call into to hear the presentation in Spanish if they choose, if they prefer that. Sometimes we have a lot of technical terms and the explanation is really helpful to hear in your native tongue. We may or may not be able to manage that tonight. So I am just going to ask Brandy if you can advance the slide one, and I'll see if Rosario is able to get onto that line now. Rosario?
Sorry, it keeps saying that the PIN number is invalid.
Okay, we're going to have to continue troubleshooting this. Rosario, I genuinely appreciate you being here and being available. If anyone has a preference for Spanish language and missed any of this meeting, Rosario, please tell them how to get in touch with the project team in Spanish. And Brandy, if you can advance to the final slide where we have the bike team email, that would be great.
Sure. ¿Qué tal? Buenas tardes. Sí, para aquellos que prefieran escuchar esta presentación en español, por el momento no va a estar disponible el servicio por una cuestión de técnica, pero si por favor pudieran contactar a alguno de estas ligas, ya sea al Phoenix, a esta página, Phoenix.gov, /PHX Cares o llamar. Y también contactar al Project Manager, que es, su correo es bike@phoenix.gov. Gracias.
Thank you very much, Rosario. We appreciate your service and are very sorry for the technical challenges we experienced tonight. Brandy, I'll have you go back to the beginning because if we go to slide 2 or 3, that'll give us a little chance to give folks an orientation into the platform we use for these meetings. We use WebEx because it's more secure than some of the other services, or so the IT folks tell us. On the lower right-hand side of your screen, I'm not quite sure where it would be on your telephone, your handheld phone or tablet, but you should see a box that says chat with a little speech bubble. That is the place that you want to be so you can chat with us or submit questions. And we will begin the webinar in just a second. I'd love for the panelists to please introduce yourselves. Beginning with the order your names appear on the next slide, please.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Leticia Vargas. I'm the Deputy Director for the Design and Construction Management Division. Welcome.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jorge Riveros. I'm the Deputy Director of Traffic Services for the City of Phoenix Street Transportation Department.
Good evening. My name is Brandy Rourke. I'm a civil engineer too for the Design and Construction Management Division, and I'm also the project manager for this project we're talking about tonight.
And again, I'm Heather Murphy, and I am driving this WebEx platform tonight. I do see a question from Skylar. Yes, we are recording this presentation right now, and it will be available on the project website in about 72 hours, maybe a little faster, depending on the time it takes to render the video. And on the next slide, we'll talk a little bit about tonight's agenda. We're really here to hear from you. We'll introduce the project. We'll talk about how we got to the options that we got. We'll share the proposed options, and then we'll get your perspective in the form of questions and comments. And again, please feel free to use that lower corner chat box for any questions that you might have. And with that, let me turn it over to Leticia to introduce this meeting tonight officially.
Thank you, Heather. Hello and good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We know how busy everyone is, especially this time of year. So thank you again for taking the time to listen and to participate in this community meeting. Tonight, my team will be sharing two striping options to consider for Sweetwater Avenue between 24th Street and 28th Street. And it's really very important to get your perspective tonight. First things first, Sweetwater Avenue is going to get a fresh new coat of asphalt sometime next year. In advance of any pavement project we do, our team, made up of staff from traffic services, street maintenance, and active transportation, has done some review and provided some suggestions for restriping. Our project team will explain the details and options tonight. This meeting is, like Heather said, being recorded and will be posted in the website, hopefully within 72 hours. And with that, I will hand it over to Brandy Rourke, our project manager. Again, thank you again for your participation, and I hope you find tonight's information helpful.
Thank you, Leticia, for the introduction, and thank you to Heather for hosting this meeting. I am Brandy Rourke, the project manager. Tonight, we are talking about a planned pavement project along Sweetwater Avenue from 24th Street to 28th Street, as highlighted in yellow on the map shown here. The map also does a good job showing several existing bike lanes denoted in green surrounding the project area and including our project limits. The existing bike lanes on Sweetwater Avenue from 24th Street to 28th Street currently also allow time of day parking. Tonight, we are looking at the opportunity to provide exclusive bike lanes. I can share more details about this proposal tonight. Projects like Sweetwater between 24th Street and 28th Street are consistent with the city's Complete Streets policy, which was adopted in 2017. This policy requires that we design streets with walking, biking, transit, and driving in mind so that we're really thinking about all the different ways people get around Phoenix. The goal is to create a network of connected streets with safe and enjoyable options for everyone. So no matter how you want to get around Phoenix or how you want to get around your neighborhood, there is a safe option. Pavement projects really are based on pavement condition. Every street that is being considered for pavement upgrades are evaluated through the Complete Streets Review, and we also look at studies, striping, and traffic patterns. A thorough traffic engineering review is done based on congestion and existing striping. We then consider public engagement, which is where we are here, which is where we are at tonight with Sweetwater from 24th Street to 28th Street. Tonight we are presenting two options to the community for restriping Sweetwater after the new pavement treatment is applied. Option A is no changes, and we'll look at restriping the pavement as it currently is with one lane in each direction and bike lanes, while keeping the existing time of day street signage in place. The current signage also allows parking in the bike lane on nights and weekends, except where the street is signed for no parking on the north side of the street between 24th Street and Victor Hugo Avenue. Keep in mind, in this option, bicyclists have to share the bike lane with parked cars. Option B will narrow the driving lanes and restripe the street to widen bike lanes while preserving as much parking as possible. Due to the current street width, parking can only be preserved on one side of the street, currently shown on the south side. The benefit would be an exclusive bike lane again by removing time of day restrictions. The diagram shown here provides parking on the south side of the street, but we also want to hear from the community. If there's strong interest for option B with north side parking, the project team can consider that as well. I am now going to hand it over to my colleague, Jorge Riveros, to discuss the traffic and parking impacts.
Thank you, Brandy. So as Brandy pointed out, there's two options here. When we talk about option A, there's no change in what's going on. But if we decide to go with option B, there will be no operational impacts at the or changes at the intersection. So that's first and foremost. We're not planning to do anything that's going to change any operations at the actual intersections of these streets. And if we do option B, the narrowing of the driving lanes can actually have a kind of inherent traffic calming impact, and so that will reduce speeding along the lanes. So it's actually something that can calm traffic along the roadway. And doing option B has an added benefit of safety when we look at narrowing those lanes. Next slide, please. In this slide, we're seeing the bird's eye view of option A and option B. Again, option A is no changes, so you see the same conditions there with the time of day parking on both sides of the street, and then and then allowing both bicyclists and parking to occur on Sweetwater. Option B, if you see that, that's one where we're proposing changes, and you can see that the north side would be no parking anytime, but allowing parking on the south side of the street. That north side would also get those bicycle lanes. So again, that traffic calming condition would occur. And I will turn it over to, I believe, Heather.
Sure. Thank you, Jorge. So again, our options, just as a visual reminder here, you've seen these slides already. Option A is no changes. So what you have right now, you keep, and that time of day parking is still going to be in effect. Option B gives you bike lanes and parking on one side, which is a bit more of a predictable experience for the cyclist because he or she or the family doesn't have to scoot in and around the cars as they're passing through this segment of Sweetwater. And again, what brings this project to your door today, audience, is that we're going to give it a fresh, brand new coat of asphalt. Sometime probably next summer. So I had two people who signed up to ask questions, and I'm looking to see if they've joined us tonight. So I can call on them. So we had Brandon T and Joshua B. I see Joshua B is on here, so let me unmute you, Joshua, and you should be able to go ahead and speak with us. We can hear you.
Hi, so my name is Josh Barger. I live in the neighborhood. I'm actually a...
Ooh, we can't hear you very clearly. Can you speak up?
Give me one moment. Maybe the next person can go. Okay, how about now?
Just
okay,
yell
how
at
about
us,
now?
Josh. Much better.
Better.
Thank you.
Okay. Classic WebEx issue. Hi, my name is Josh Barger. I've actually worked with a handful of you here. I'm a traffic engineer, although I'm not representing my firm here during the meeting today. I live in the neighborhood and bike this route often, Sweetwater Avenue, take it all the way through to cross the 51 here. It's a really good safe bike route to kind of cross that major freeway. My question here is, well, I got two for you here. I see that the street has had its speed limits reduced to 25 miles an hour. I think that's great. Narrowing the travel lanes is going to help calm the traffic as well to actually abide by that 25 mile an hour speed limit. And I also think that if there's more options to provide more protection to the bicyclists on this segment, that would be great. I'm a big fan of the segment here to the east, 28th and east of there, where we've got protected buffered bike lanes. Also still time of day parking on both sides. It seems to be working from my perspective. I'm not sure if there's been complaints or anything else, any issues that the city's aware of, but I think that cross section is preferable and would provide more protection. And also, I do recognize there's a lot of parking going on the south side of Sweetwater. Definitely a lot of residents that use it. Although I'm not sure it's going to provide a huge issue operationally for the bike lane when it's time of day restricted. Let's see here. And then the last comment that I'll have for the project team here is that if that buffered bike lane option is not appropriate and this is not one of your A or B solutions, that if it's a possibility to squeeze in, given the space, for option B, the parking protected bike lane option with the bike lane on the inside protected by parking.
All
Thank you.
right, project team, I don't know who wants to take that. It's a little bit traffic services, it's a little bit active transportation, so I'm going to throw it out to you. Team, take a stab at it.
Well, I would say it's probably a question for, the active transportation group, to consider another option, I think is what Josh is saying. Is there another option that we can do here? An option C that would allow a little bit of a different configuration. I don't know, Brandy, if you have any thoughts on that based on what you've already kind of thought about in design.
Yeah, the buffered bike lanes unfortunately doesn't meet our goal to preserve parking as much as possible along this segment on Sweetwater between 24th and 28th. There's so many front-facing homes that would be impacted by laying down buffered bike lanes.
Thank you, Brandy. I have two other people that would like to speak, and I'm going to go ahead and unmute Skylar first. And then after Skylar, I will call on Allison. So Skylar, you're up first, and Allison, you're in position 2. Skylar, we should be able to hear you now.
All right. Am I loud enough? I want to make sure I didn't know. Is that a yes? You can hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I've been on Sweetwater my whole life pretty much. I bought a house up from my parents. I've been here 28 years and I've seen a lot of things down that street. The speed limit dropping to 25 was phenomenal. We were all excited when that happened. I've seen the accident on 28th Street where unfortunately a death happened. People were going too fast. And on the 24th Street, which I'm actually on the corner, I've actually seen a bus hit, which I can't believe the bus was able to be hit at the speed they should have been going. I worry about the safety. I really did like his thought of actually kind of putting a buffering zone, but I even thought of maybe a meandering road to slow the traffic down. We've had cops out here religiously the last 3 or 4 weeks, and I've seen them pulling over everybody. Most of them don't even stop for the kids to cross the street. I've seen a cross guard even knocked over. I was surprised I know they're paid to be out here, but at the same time, you kind of worry about their safety. Just even putting out the signs has been an issue on that. And so, at the very least, I would like to see maybe an option B with like parking on both sides, because just like the gentleman who worked in the industry knows, the narrower the road is, the less thought they will have to be speeding through the roads. And that was one of the things that I look for is the safety issues. Little kids, they cross the street, they go to Larkspur. And man, if there's not a crosswalk out there, I take the time off to go over there and make sure they get across the street, because it's just not pretty, some of the speeds that they go through. So I do appreciate you guys having this together. Is there something that we could do to get an option, like you said, an option C, where there's parking on both sides, just to narrow it even more? I mean, the roads really don't need to be that wide. It's not like we're putting buses down that road anymore. So just a thought. Thank you.
Thank you, Skylar. I appreciate the question. And then we'll do Melanie in a minute, but project team, do you want to take the question?
Brenda, do you want to take that one? It's really about the width of the roadway and what we can fit into the roadway.
Yeah, so the current street width is 40 feet. And even if we were to keep the bike lanes to standard width, and the travel lanes to a standard width, there wouldn't be enough room to put another parking lane in addition to the one we see on the screen on the other side of the road as well.
So that's the challenge that we're dealing with. We're trying to create the dedicated bicycle facility by having striped bike lanes and still preserve as much parking as we can. And this was the configuration that stood out, again, with the opportunity to look at either the north or south side of the street. But appreciate the question.
Next, I'm going to go to Allison and then I'll go to Melanie. So Allison, you're unmuted. We should be able to hear you now.
Hi, my name is Allison. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I live in a cul-de-sac off of Sweetwater around 24th Street. I've lived here for a very long time. And I think the common thing that maybe people are talking about today is the safety of Sweetwater, not only for the bikers, but the people that are driving it too. And I think my question more centers on, yeah, we have those police and they haven't slowed anybody down really. I mean, 6:30 in the morning, I drove my child to daycare and I was going 32 miles an hour and I was getting honked at and somebody ran around me. And I think now that we're going to put new asphalt and put all this money and resources into the road, have we thought about any more traffic calming? Speed bumps, runabouts, anything else like that too that would protect the bikers, the people parking, the people in this community that have all these forward facing homes that are on Sweetwater. I just feel like that maybe is a missed opportunity if we're going to put all this work and effort into it, that the people that live off of Sweetwater are really wanting this to be a safer area for kids, for them, their kids, and the kids that are in this community too. So that's kind of my question. Is there any other, I know this isn't part of the bike lane, but is there any thought, since we are redoing the asphalt, of any other traffic calming things that we can do, since we've done all this research about traffic patterns and everything else that go along with this project?
Yeah, I think that's
Thank
a
you,
two-part
Allison.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a two-part question. I think our team can definitely answer the fact that this project is directly tied to pavement overlay projects. So when we have the opportunity to look at the asphalt during a pavement overlay, the scope of the project is to do just that, the overlay. So we do try to take advantage of that opportunity to look for opportunities to enhance the striping. Unfortunately, we do not have the budget to also do additional traffic calming. That is a quite extensive process that could involve, additional evaluation, design, and then the money to actually do the traffic calming. But Jorge, could you speak to our traffic calming program and what opportunities exist in that?
Sure. I was gonna jump in and talk about it. So thank you, Leticia. Yeah, so we do have a traffic calming program. It is resident driven. So there's always opportunities to do something different along the roadway with speed humps. So if you want to do that, we can definitely provide you with the information to get that going. Again, it's resident driven. We don't really have, we kind of try to play a neutral party in the whole process, but happy to give you any information you need, connect you with the person that's in charge of that program here at the city.
And I'll just add that we get that question every time we go out to communities. And what people don't realize is that every time we go back to maintain a street that we've put a speed hump on, we have to take the speed hump out and then put it back at our expense. So it is a permanent piece of infrastructure. It costs us money to maintain, but some people like them and some people don't. So that resident-driven petition process is really important to get the community support and buy-in for installing this permanent infrastructure.
Yeah, thank you for that, Heather.
Yeah, I'm so used to answering that question in community meetings.
Right.
Let me switch to Melanie here, who I believe has a stop sign question. Melanie, you're unmuted. Please go ahead.
Hi, thank you for taking my questions. Two things. We were wondering if you could move the parking from the south side to the north side. There seems like it's a much larger easement and there would be a lot more room. I wasn't asking to put two, parking on both sides. I was just suggesting maybe moving it to the north side to give more room. And then my other comment or question was, could we put a stop sign at 24th Street and Sweetwater? Because I think that would significantly help with traffic and also with safety. I'm also concerned about the students and, at the elementary school that I've talked to crossing guards there, and they're always saying how kind of dangerous and scary it is to, cross the children, and people just do not stop for the kids, which is just really ridiculous and quite scary. So just simply putting a stop sign would be really helpful, I think, and should be not that expensive compared to other measures that we were talking about earlier. Thank you.
So we can do traffic evaluation of the intersection to see if a stop sign meets the criteria to be placed. We can't just indiscriminately place a stop sign for traffic calming purposes. That's not what they're designed for. But we can certainly, I said, do an evaluation to take a look at whether a stop sign might meet the criteria to be installed. So again, we can provide you that information and go out and take a look at that intersection.
And on
Yes.
the second question, you go ahead.
I can answer that. Yeah. So as part of this this outreach process that we're doing tonight, we definitely want your input on for which side of the street you would like to see parking. So that's exactly what we wanted. We want to hear which side you prefer, and if it's the north side, that is all right. That's great, and we can definitely consider that moving forward. It can be considered.
Does the larger easement make the parking there a better choice?
I'm not sure who I'm hearing from right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess we're still unmuted. we had an additional comment. My husband is here with me. What were you saying?
We were just
Go ahead. You have the floor.
Thank you. Sure. To go back to the parking on the north side, there's quite a large easement there. It's probably 10 feet, at least 10 feet. It's larger than the easement on the south side of the street. So does that in any way, is it a better option for choosing which side to park on if there's a much larger easement? Their yards are much deeper from the sidewalk to their front of their house. And a lot of that is an easement. So some people even park in that area right now. It's between the sidewalk and the front of their property.
I recall. I can visualize what you're saying from being out there and seeing the area. But this project unfortunately won't look at roadway widening. That would be a separate effort, separate from what we are discussing tonight.
I think what they were suggesting is that somehow having the deeper front yards would make it more favorable to put the parking on that side of the road. So that's definitely something that this project team can review.
Oh, okay.
I know from my experience doing this for a while now, this is a very thoughtful group of people that will study and pay attention to your comments. So again, this meeting's being recorded and we encourage you to share this information. And if the public sentiment supports overwhelmingly putting the parking on one side or the other, the project team will try and make that happen. Melanie, I think I said I was going to call on you next. You have been unmuted. Please go ahead.
Oh, I asked my questions. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right. I have a couple of submitted questions, so I will go ahead and call some of those out here. And I'm continuing to watch the chat and the Q&A. So if you do have additional questions, please let me know. So Lindsay wrote in as a cyclist who rides on this stretch of road multiple times a week. I'm in favor of a dedicated parking lane separate from the bike lane, so I don't have to veer out into traffic and dodge parked cars in the bike lane during no parking hours. So that was a comment in favor. I figured as long as we were here tonight, I should read that into the record. Brandon T asked, will we be adding speed bumps or chicanes similar to how 24th Street is between Cactus and Shea? I'm a runner along Sweetwater, and the people drive too fast. There are 2 schools near this road that have children who walk and cross the street. So would anyone like to entertain the bumps, speed bumps? We've already addressed chicanes. And then we'll go back to more submitted questions.
So chicanes are a part of traffic calming, but I don't know that we're offering them through our traditional traffic calming program anymore. Jorge, is that correct?
That is correct. Thank you. I was just about to say that, Leticia. Thank you for saying that. So the only traffic calming option we have right now is the speed humps or the speed cushions, depending on the road classification.
And even if we were doing chicanes, we'd require more road width, right?
Correct.
There is another question. What will the traffic restrictions limitations be? I don't know whether that's a question on speed limit or if that's a question on the time of day parking, but Brandy, I'll turn to you for that.
Yeah, I thought the question was geared more toward the speed limit, honestly, on that one.
And it was recently reduced from 30 to 25.
Right. So there wouldn't be any changes. We'd leave it at the 25 that it's at right now.
Okay. Another person requests clarification for option B. The vehicle parking would be the same every single day of the week, no changes for weekends or after 6. Brandy?
Yes, option B would provide a designated parking lane on the south side of the street with parking allowed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That is correct.
We have a gentleman who typed in here, well, Chris, maybe male or female. I don't know how to comment. I'm not in support of moving the parking to the north side. So when we finish this meeting, we're going to show, or when we get to the next slide, we're going to show how to get to our project survey. It's definitely something that you can insert in the project survey and make your comments there. We do want you, even if you expressed your thoughts tonight, to do the survey because there's an option to add questions. If you can advance to that slide, Brandy, that would be fantastic. And then I think I have a couple more questions. Let me cover this slide first. So we're here tonight, it's December 9th. We're having this public meeting that you're all here for. We will be doing a survey that I'll show you the link on the next slide That'll run from tonight through January 4th. We decided to give you some extra time because of the holidays and everything gets hectic. So we, again, will have the recording up by probably by Friday. We'll make a decision in the spring of 2026 after taking into consideration all of the public input, both tonight and in the project survey. And then the paving should follow sometime in the summertime. And then the next slide should give you the website address. And I'm going to go back to a submitted question. And this one confused me a little bit too, because I don't know the route of the bus 138, but Laura asked if we're not taking this project to 32nd Street because of the bus route, Route 138. And again, I'm not familiar with that, but the project limits are what they are because of the paving program, correct? I'm just
Correct.
verifying that. So we're
That
not
is-
taking the
yeah.
paving out to 32nd Street.
Correct. So the reason, that we're not extending the project to 32nd Street does not have anything to do with the bus schedule. It's simply because the pavement upgrade is only between 24th Street and 28th Street.
All right, I was just looking to see if Paul had joined us. He asked the question about, are the residents of Sweetwater Avenue making this request, or is a biking group making the request? And I think we can go back to turn it over to Brandy to have her remind everyone of how we got to here tonight.
So yeah, neither the residents or any biking group made the request. The project really originated from the city's pavement upgrade process, which evaluates streets for overall bike lane improvements.
All right. There's a couple of people, I think, pushing some insight into the easement that may be because of a water line. Again, we can look at that. And it says there's a comment about the new concrete they just poured on all of the corners. And Leticia or Jorge, I'm going to turn to you to explain why we replaced the ramps.
So I can try to answer that. As a part of any overlay or any work that we do in the public right of way, we have a commitment to also look at doing Americans with Disabilities Act ramp improvements. So it's our process, it's our standard process. It's actually also required, and that's why we do it. So so hopefully that answered the question.
Yes, I sometimes tell people who call and say, why are these ramps being jackhammered out, that it's usually a really good sign that a paving project is coming in through there, or a capital improvement project, which sometimes includes road design. Melanie did put in the chat an interesting problem that she sees, observes in the community. She said, most of our neighbors still place their trash cans in the bike lane rather than on the sidewalk. So that may require some education to change the habit and keep the bike lanes open. That is something we can certainly relay to our public works staff. I see that in other places around the city. And you can bet that we'll pass that along. Okay, I'm not seeing any new questions or new chat comments. If anybody has them, so please speak now. Otherwise, we're going to let you have the remainder of your evening to enjoy. So I'm watching the chat. Ah, okay. There's a person that just added that we've been notified by the city that we can't put the cans on the sidewalk, but actually have to place them in the street. We'll still follow up with Public Works on that. All right, I'm looking. Okay, Caitlin asked to be unmuted, so let me go find Caitlin. Caitlin, you're unmuted. Please go ahead.
Thank you, and apologies. I'm losing my voice. I'm a little sick. So I'm also live right near 24th and Sweetwater and share everyone's concerns about, you know, the need to really, if we're gonna do this, to do it right and address the speed issue with speed calming measures. And given that that's a resident-driven petition process, I think it would be helpful if the city could, you know, kind of start to integrate into these presentations what that process looks like and have the traffic, you know, calming folks on just built in, since you get so many questions. I also just wanted to invite folks here who are on the call and are interested in organizing our neighborhood to move that petition process for speed bumps, to connect with me. I'm happy to share my cell. I don't think, can everybody see the chat, or can I just say it out loud for, I'm not sure if I don't.
If you're comfortable with me sharing it with the whole audience, I don't believe you're able to share it, but I will type it in if you're sure you want to share it with everyone.
I am, thank you. And I think it's, you know, it's going to be most effective for all of us who are interested to connect. So I'll put my name and actually my email in this, and then you can share it out, if you don't mind, Heather.
Sure.
Thank you.
All right, bear with me, I'm typing. Now I need to copy and paste. Thank you very much. It's always nice when we have engaged residents who are willing to be the point people for something like this. We did have multiple questions about speed humps, and let's see. I do not see any new questions. So for that, I guess I will throw it back to you, Leticia, for any closing remarks.
Thank you, Heather. Again, we just really appreciate the opportunity to present this project to you all, to have a conversation with the community about what's important to you. And we really encourage you all to take advantage of the survey, to really, even though you've shared some comments with us, please fill out that survey and share the your input, particularly as it relates to the parking, because it sounds like that is an opportunity we have to look at either the north or south side. So again, you have a wonderful evening and happy holidays to you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye.